Welcome to the Solopreneur Academy Podcast. This is a podcast for entrepreneurs who want to make more impact and income in less time. I'm your host, Megan, and throughout each episode, you'll learn how to create the lifestyle and legacy you want as you grow. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Solopreneur Academy Podcast. Today, we are going to be talking all about how to get weekly consults and set yourself up to hit six figures even over a busy summer. Now, this is going to be introducing my new and improved Fully Booked Formula webinar. If you have heard about the Fully Booked Formula, I have completely revamped it and I have an entirely new webinar for you that I'm going to be doing on April 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you already are like, A, I do not have weekly consults and I would like to get them. And B, if you're like, I definitely want to set myself up for six figures over the summer, this is the perfect webinar for you guys to come to. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you what you're going to learn in that. But before I even get into it, if you're already like, this is for me, sign up using the link in the show notes because you do not want to miss this webinar. The other thing before I again get into what you're actually going to learn on this webinar, and if you look at these show notes after this webinar has since passed, if it is like April 28th, I will still include the recording and the link to get that in the link in the show notes. So don't worry about it. However, the reason why I'm doing this is as I announced back in February, I've decided to change my offers. I used to have marketing systems, which was my 12-month program, and I shifted that to be 5-figure foundation. And now instead of the instead of scaling systems, which used to be my mastermind, this is going to the new Fully Booked Formula about how to set yourself up for six figures over the summer. This new webinar is going to start the launch of my mastermind, which is now renamed to the Six-Figure Scaling Mastermind. It talks all about how to make 100K in 12 months, and not just for this year, but for every year following. And I would love to have you guys join us within that mastermind. So I'll include a little bit of information about joining the mastermind also with these show notes. So if you're already thinking, I need a mastermind to join, this is going to be for you and you definitely want to come. The other thing is, I know that you guys are familiar with the fact that I am pregnant right now. And you're like, wait a second, Megan, how can I set myself up for six figures if you're pregnant? I am not going to be coaching necessarily over the summer. However, what I have done in the past few weeks is I have worked endlessly to completely revamp the mastermind curriculum. Every single thing that I'm teaching within the mastermind is different than it has ever been before. I am talking a lot more about getting one-to-many people, looking at your marketing. I talk about how to elevate your posts that you're doing every single week. There are actually 4 different phases that I talk through about how to elevate your posts every single week. I also have 3 different phases that I teach now within the mastermind about how to manage leads and start bringing in more speaking gigs, more podcast guesting opportunities, and actually get in front of a bigger audience. This is something that I've never ever taught before within my mastermind. I've always left those for the additional systems. But what I realized is for people to really hit six figures consistently, you do need to be getting in front of more people. This is the part where I would recommend you do create an email list. You have monthly sales events. This is why I did these podcasts before this, so you could see how this fits into what you're creating within this year. I also know that if you are posting consistently, great, but we need to make these posts something that actually gets you more followers. And again, 5-figure foundation is awesome for making your first 10K. And this is where we pick up from that 10K and help you get to 100K within your business, not just for 1 year, but for every year following. So This is going to jumpstart the launch of the six-figure scaling mastermind. And even though I am not going to be in person teaching you and coaching you for the 3 hours of coaching calls that we have a week, I still have given you these insanely updated modules that are never before concepts that I haven't taught before that you're going to be able to listen to over the summer while I'm on my maternity leave from June to August. So I'm just going to be taking off the summer months. Don't you worry, I'm coming back with a fire in my belly that is now going to be outside of my belly because we are very done being I'm not super done being pregnant, but I am like, after I come back, I am so excited to be really getting into your businesses and talking with you about these. But I'm not just going to leave you hanging. If you decide to join the six-figure scaling mastermind, I wanted to give you an incentive. First and foremost, beyond the fact that I'm going to give you all these updated modules, ideas for lead generation, ideas for how to grow your email list, all these different things that I've never included in the mastermind before. However, I am also going to give you support even while I'm on my maternity leave. So I'm going to have guest coaches that are going to be coming in and leading those 3 hours of calls every single week when you join the mastermind. So when you join the mastermind, if you decide that you're like, and again, I'm just giving you a plug and giving you prep time so you're ready for this when the six-figure scaling mastermind does in fact open on April 27th at 8 p.m. You are also, so let's say you decide and you're like, okay, great, it's April, I'm going to join the mastermind. Typically, within the six-figure scaling mastermind, you would get access to the mastermind for 12 months. So that should be April of 2026 to April of 2027. But I was like, you know what? For the people that sign up right now, first and foremost, I know that you want to get ahead over the summer. I know you want to start bringing in consistent consults, and we're going to make that happen. You're going to get support, but I'm also giving you 3 extra months within the mastermind. I'm going to give you, if you sign up in April of 2026, instead of just having access until April of 2027, you will get May, June, and July within the mastermind. So you will have access from April of 2026 all the way through August of 2027. If you're counting right, that's 15 months in the six-figure scaling mastermind, where you get weekly 3 hours, not just 1 hour, 3 hours of weekly coaching. You are going to get the modules that make six figures statistically inevitable. And you're also going to get 12 months of feedback from me, where you can get weekly one-on-one Loom videos from me every single week for 12 freaking months, 52 weekly videos from yours truly. And you will also get a monthly eval that I will give you another Loom video that you will get for 12 months. You get 12 monthly Looms from me evaluating all the things that you are doing within your business. And then you also get access to 15 months of group coaching and 52 weekly videos from me telling you what to implement, what to change, and augment for your business every single week. And for those of you that are joining now, I am going to have to delegate this at some point. I would love to hire humans to help me deliver these messages. But if you decide to sign up for the mastermind now, I'm going to have a set group of people that I'm going to be doing these evals for you for the next year. And then anyone else who joins will most likely be getting somebody else to do those weekly and monthly evals for them. But if you sign up now, you're going to get yours truly. And I'm going to actually give you that feedback. It just isn't going to be sustainable as I grow this mastermind to 50, 100, 200 people, which is my goal. So within this, I wanted to give you a shameless plug about the six-figure scaling mastermind because I know it's going to be so helpful for all of you to really understand what that program is. And if you sign up, let's see, what is it? It's going to be 2 weeks later. So if you sign up by May 10th, what I'm going to do is for the first 48 hours, I'm going to do a double your income call for everybody who signs up. It's going to be a one-on-one call with me. So anybody who signs up by April 29th, you're going to get a one-on-one call with me where we're going to talk about how to double your income. Then we are also going to give you, if you sign up by May 10th, only by May 10th. So if you're listening to this later, apologies, message in and find out what our awesome bonuses are for you at that time. But you are going to get access to 5-Figure Foundation as well. You are going to get access to all of those awesome open modules. You are going to get access to learn that curriculum and more than just the curriculum, because I do recap everything that I teach in 5-Figure Foundation for 6-figure scaling. However, you also get an extra hour of calls for 15 months. That's 4 hours of weekly calls every single week for 15 months. And you get that for $7,500 if you want to pay that for a year, or if you would like to break it up into $650 payment plans, you can do those installments too. I, again, just wanted to make this a no-brainer and just share with you guys everything, single thing that I can to help you make 6 figures. So for you, yes, that is $7,500 to learn how to make $100K statistically inevitable every single year following. So pretty jazzy things are coming. And to kick it off, let's get into talking about what you're actually going to learn on the new and improved fully booked formula, which I'm going to be talking about how to get weekly consults and set yourself up for 6 figures over the summer. So one of the things that I have found is that for many people who are not just thinking about joining the 6-figure scaling mastermind, but just for my audience in general, is that consults feel inconsistent. Even if you've listened to what I've taught you about, like the 3 clients in 30 days webinar, you understand how to get your first few clients. However, from that stage, consults can still feel inconsistent. You can have a steady flow at some points, and then all of a sudden, just like what happened for me, I had a 7-month consult drought. And I had no idea why that happened to me. There were so many things that I was doing. I was posting consistently. I was getting out in front of people, but my posts weren't working. I wasn't talking to enough people, and I didn't have a way to scale it. I didn't have a way to make sure that what I was doing was going to not only make me consults weekly, but bring in more leads after that. So what you want to do is within this webinar, I'm going to teach you the 3 new steps of the fully booked formula. And these are 3 things that are going to be different than last time. And the first thing that you're going to learn in this fully booked formula, in this rendition, because we're talking about summer, is we are going to be still talking about there's 3 steps. Let me just give you an overview of that. Our message, invite, and multiply. So it's slightly different than what I did last time when I talked about message, ask, close. But this one is about messaging, the messaging that you're putting out there on social media. Then I'm going to talk to you about invite. And last but not least, we're going to talk about how to multiply it. So what the heck do I mean when I'm saying the first step of the fully booked formula is your messaging? Now, right now, you have probably decent messaging. You might be getting your posts out fairly consistently, but I want you to ask yourself this. Are people booking consults directly from Instagram or wherever your favorite form of social media is? If not, I would love for you to come to this fully booked formula, because right now you need stronger messaging to get better consults. Now, I teach that, and you probably know about some philosophies that I have around there. However, right now, if you are coming to this webinar, you are about to hit Maycember. Maycember is aptly named because we are about to hit the craziest time of the year where kids might be finishing up the school year. You might have kids that are graduating. You might have some kids that are moving back in with you before they move out permanently. You might have and Also, for the audience, for your people that are in your audience, you need to give them an extra important reason to sign up with you before their summer distractions hit. Especially if you work with anybody who's a parent, you can't be doing some just solid messaging in order to hit six figures. You need to be doing potent messaging that creates urgency before summer hits and during the summer. Especially if you actually want to bring in consistent consults over the summer. A lot of times people think that's impossible, but people don't just stop needing your help over the summer. You are still paying for things over the summer months, but your attention is split and so is theirs. They are not as focused and locked in as they might be. For instance, if you are a health coach, a lot of people lock it in January. Everybody sets these resolutions and intentions, new year, new me. Most people do. And it's a great time to bring in people. But the reason why I'm doing this webinar before summer is because I'm going to show you in this fully booked formula webinar that I'm hosting again on April 27th at 8 p.m. You are going to learn how to build urgency even in times like the summer. You are going to talk about very clear problems that relate to your client's daily life. We are going to talk about specific outcomes that they are Googling and how this creates not only stronger content for you, but how this develops AEO, which is answer engine optimization, and how to use language that promotes urgency for people to book consults. I could look at probably any of your posts if you send it to me, if you're in the Facebook group, anything like that, and I could tell you that where it's weak and what you need to make stronger in order for you to get clients booking over the summer. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you within this webinar. So if you are like, I think my messaging is a little vague, I think that people might be waiting until after the summer. And if you are thinking that you aren't going to be getting these consults, you want to come to this webinar, because if your messaging is clear, people are going to buy even when life gets busy. And that is actually going to show them that you are a return on their investment. So that's what we're going to do within the fully booked formula. Now, the other thing I'm going to teach, the second step of getting fully booked over the summer and set yourself up for six-figure success, is to invite people. Now, right now, over the summer, you probably have trips planned. You might have trips that you're going on. You might be hosting people. You might be going on vacation to visit family. And you probably aren't working as much as during the regular school year within your business. So a lot of people think that they aren't going to bring in consults if they aren't working as much. But the reason why my clients are still signing clients and having some of their best months over the summer is because you don't need to have more hours. You need to be using your hours in the right way. A lot of you guys have little pockets of time that you could use as opportunities. This might be waiting in line at the airport. This could be on a road trip. This could be on in actual structured pockets of time while your kids are at camp. These are all things that you have an opportunity to utilize your time in a way that is really effective. But the people who are not going to hit six figures this year, and the people who don't have the structure or the strategy I'm going to teach you at this webinar, is they don't know how to use that time to invite more people into your business. You need to be making consistent offers, and you need to have specific direct invitations to people to get them brand awareness and actually sign up to work with you. Now, these conversations, first and foremost, are not spammy and salesy. You will never, if you follow my protocol, you are never going to do the "hey girl, you up" DMs, which are creepy and weird. We don't want to do that. You're also not going to go in and send the DMs that sound like, do you like sign up for a consult here right away without getting to know somebody first. I teach in the fully booked formula a very specific way that you send consistent invitations so that you, A, are top of mind for your audience. B, you don't get shut down by the algorithm that if you post and ghost, you will be tagged as a bot. So we don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're actually engaging with your audience if you want to create engagement. And when you maintain momentum in these mini pockets of the year, you will actually bring in consults even in less than perfect hours. I build businesses for real life. I have clients that have had their house flood and they were displaced because of mold for 2 months. I have had clients that have gone through loss. I have had clients who have gotten sick. And these are just these are unexpected things, but there's expected things too. I have had clients who have gone on maternity leave. You're about to hear from Amy Gorin next week, where we planned out her maternity leave meticulously so she could make $1 million in 1 year. We also have clients that go on trips that they planned with their family months in advance. So I am guaranteeing over the summer, you are going to have expected things and unexpected things that come up. And I want you to still set yourself up for six figures, regardless of whether there are distractions and life is lifing. I want you to build a business that's sustainable for real life. And that's what we're going to teach on this fully booked formula webinar. So that's step 2 is the invite process. It again is not about how many hours you work. It's about doubling down and making it a numbers game to how many people you invite to get involved in your world. And then the last piece of this fully booked formula, which again is different, is the multiply portion. Instead of you figuring out how to talk to hundreds of people one-on-one, you are going to build a strategy that works even when you're offline, that is going beyond posting. So instead of just going through and posting, you are going to learn ways to get more visible and collaborate so you can get seen by other new audiences. This is actually something that is, again, a new big piece of the six-figure scaling mastermind, and is something that, of course, I had to add to the to the fully booked formula webinar, because this is the part that takes you and makes you different than somebody who is just making 10K with their business. To go from 10K to six figures, 10 to 100K, you don't just need to 10 times the number of posts that you're doing. You need to 10 times your visibility. You need to get in front of as many people as possible in order to actually get your audience to a size where you can bring in consistent consults. Now, the reason why I say that this is going to be the summer that sets you up for six figures is if you think about a six-figure business, you really do need numbers. You need around 20 to 35 clients a year in order to hit six figures based on the size of your offer. And you also need to have an offer that is insanely compelling for people where they feel crazy not to sign up to work with you. And it needs to be at a price point that's a no-brainer. Your worth is invaluable. It's not about your worth, but you need to be thinking about your target audience and what they would expect to pay and how you can over deliver that and communicate the value of what you do in a way that gets people to say, oh, I need to sign up for this right now. If you are not multiplying your efforts and getting in front of more people, I don't want this to be the year that you just hit six figures. I want this to be in the beginning of the next 5 years of you making six figures plus consistently. And in order to do that, you need to get more people seeing what you do. Your audience needs to grow. You cannot just focus on nurturing your current people. That's great. And I will teach you how to do that. But I also want you getting in front of more eyes. And that is really what it truly takes to get set up for six-figure success. One of the many reasons why I'm doing this webinar and launching before my maternity leave is you need to be starting conversations with bigger decision makers to get things like speaking engagements in the fall and in the winter. They make those decisions now. If you want a speaking engagement in October, you need to be talking to people in April. You can't just wait until October and be like, oh yeah, I need to get in front of more people. This is literally what I'm going to be doing throughout my maternity leave is I'm going to be using my pockets of time to do invitations, not just to people who are in my audience, but I'm going to be getting out there and talking to more people outside of my audience so that way my goal is in order to double my revenue, I need to double my audience at the very least. And I know that I'm going to be able to do that. And I'm going to teach in, of course, the six figure scaling mastermind. I'm going to teach you my visibility strategy that I'm going to literally use myself so that I can get in front of more eyes and convert more people so that I can make a million statistically inevitable for me. But for you guys on this webinar, I'm going to be teaching you the basics of it. Obviously, the things that I teach within the mastermind take hours for me to even just teach, and they take months to apply. That's why it's a 12-month mastermind. And now you're getting an extra bonus 3 months because it's going to be 15 months, including maternity leave. But for you guys, you need to know that even if you take time off, for me, I'm taking 3 freaking months off for my business. 3 full months of maternity leave. And this is what's going to keep people finding me anyways. So this is what you want to do. If you are ready, if you have not gotten a consistent consult, first and foremost, if you're not bringing in consults weekly, come to the Fully Booked Formula webinar. There are very good reasons as to why that's happening, okay? And I want to show you how simple it can be. You are also going to be able to ask questions ahead of time. You're going to know what helps people build in the slower months. You are going to be able to understand what, instead of just starting over in September, you're going to actually get access to be able to build up over the summer in the weird pockets of time that you have. And that's why I'm doing this now instead of later. So I'm very excited for those of you that are joining us for the Fully Booked Formula webinar. I also am going to be doing a cool just like a fun little VIP offer for anybody who signs up. If you want to pay $17 more, I will also include this separately in the show notes, but I'm going to include a three freebies, or not freebies, three things for you if you want to upgrade for $17. I'm going to give you a 30-minute social media strategy call with yours truly before the webinar even begins. And we're going to be able to talk about what are the bottlenecks that you're putting in your social media messaging and how you can alleviate those before the summer, before even the end of April. And that's what you can do to start to get people coming in consistently. I also am going to give you my content to consults mini course. This is something that has been like people rave about this because it makes posting so simple. So if you don't know what to post about in a day-to-day period, pay $17, get the upgrade. I'll do a one-on-one 30-minute social media strategy with you, and you can learn exactly what to post in content to consults, which is going to make things a lot easier for you. And last but not least, 89% of people need to see a testimonial to buy. So we need to get you actually getting testimonials from your clients, not when they're done working with you, but when they get a big win so that you can actually start to showcase people and show them, hey, especially if you want to make six figures within your business, you cannot leave your business to chance. You can't leave people to make assumptions for themselves that like, oh, because this worked for Megan, this is going to work for other people too. You need to actually talk to more people and you need to show them that this works for you, not just for, not this can work for you because it's worked for other people. It doesn't just work for me. For instance, if I were to say, I'm Megan Wing and I'm the only person who I've ever coached to make six figures, that doesn't build trust. That doesn't build a proven process. But when you hear that Ying had an 84K launch, that Holly went from 53K to 153K, or it was like 54K to 135K within our 6 months of coaching together. When you hear about Amy next week, when she has been able to cross $1 million with a 3 freaking month maternity leave, you start to realize that I'm not a special snowflake. My strategies don't just work for me, they work for everybody. So That is why I'm doing this webinar. I want to show you that this is so beyond possible for you. And again, if you upgrade to VIP, $17 to learn how to do consistent content that brings in consults, to get that testimonial template, and to get a 30-minute social media strategy call with yours truly, me, Megan Wing, you want to make sure that you are signing up for that. So that's another little added perk for this webinar. If you have any questions also about the six-figure scaling mastermind, I would love to answer them for you. Feel free to send me a message about if you've got any questions about that, and I'd be more than happy to answer it. And I'm still going to be with you, even if you sign up for the mastermind. Like if you sign up on April 27th, I'm still coaching through May. Just because this baby is going to be coming out in July or June, we are still going to be working and coaching all the way through May. So never fear. She's a good size. They said that she is not, I'm not going to need to be induced anytime soon. And I'm actually going to be doing another visibility challenge for the people who are just in the mastermind. That's going to be starting on May 1st. So I'll be talking a little bit more about that in future episodes. So make sure that you are, if you again have any questions about the six-figure scaling mastermind, go ahead and message me about it. If you haven't signed up already by listening to this in the show notes, the very last thing that I want you to do is sign up for the Fully Booked Formula. For sure, it's completely free, and you're going to learn these 3 new steps to hit 6 figures and you set yourself up for 6-figure success over the summer. And if you want to upgrade to VIP, let's go. I would love to have you. And it's only $17 in order for you to get this going. So with that being said, I hope to see you guys very soon for the Fully Booked Formula. Message me if you have any questions, and I can't wait to see you all soon.
Did you know that 89% of people need to see a testimonial in order to buy? Get my free testimonial template using the link in the show notes, and you'll see exactly how I used testimonials to market my business as it grew to 120K in my first year full-time and multiple 6 figures every year after that. Thank you so much again for listening, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the Solopreneur Academy Podcast.